them in and then we'll start. Okay. I just want to welcome everyone to the February meeting. I know the last time we said we were going to meet in the Flagler College in the Flagler room, but unfortunately we had our plans changed. As far as next month goes, in March, we'd like to meet in the Flagler room, but all I can say at this point is stay tuned, and we'll go from there. I see a couple of people who have joined us. Let me ask Robbie, anything going on with FPAN?
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know me, I'm Robbie Boggs with the Florida Public Archaeology Network, and we have a few events coming up for February. Starting off, we're going to be starting a Monitoring Mondays out at the GTM-NER, the Guantanamo Research Reserve. We got a grant. We're going to be doing a science collaborative project out there, studying the peoples of Guana Peninsula from present and past. And part of that, we're going to be doing these monitoring days starting on Mondays. So keep an eye out for that. There'll be from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. In March. And leading up to that, we're going to be having a Heritage Monitoring Scouts training, which I think several SAAA members have taken in the past. And so it's not required, but just recommended if people are interested in kind of the ethics and how to go about monitoring archaeological sites. We're going to be having one actually coming up this Thursday, February 10th. And that will be 1 to 3 via Zoom. And then we have a couple lectures coming up. Dr. Lori Lee, Flagler College, is going to be talking Zoom this Friday at 9 o'clock a.m. Doing a lecture called Navigating the Tides of Change at Fort Mose. So that'll be really interesting. Last but not least, our very own Emma Dietrich will be giving a Zoom lecture, Seeking Refuge, History of Florida's Houses of Refuge. And that's going to be February 24th at 7 p.m. And all of these can be found on FPAN's website, the details and how to sign up, but I'll also drop our website link in the chat too, so you can just press on it and sign up for any that you're interested in.
Okay, thank you, Robbie. As most of us know, March is Archaeology Month, and we normally have an event in there. And let me see, Marcia, what do we have planned for Archaeology Month next month?
Well, we're going to do a tour of Fish Island on Saturday, March 12th at 10 o'clock in the morning. I will lead whoever comes. I guess we don't really need to limit the number. I don't want people to not be able to hear, but I think, don't you think that we'll have just a reasonable number and they won't have to sign up? What do you think?
Well, we can take as many as want to go, but I think we'll set up some type of a sign up where they can just log in and say they're coming this way.
Okay.
You know, if there's a large group, we can break it into groups and, you know, schedule who's going to handle what. But we'll get the details out, you know, as we get closer. But, you know, as long as the folks know what's going on. And you said that was what, on the 12th?
It's the 12th at 10 o'clock in the morning, and parking, you can park, because it's Saturday, you can park in the office complex that's nearby and just walk over, and then just put your hands up like this as you walk past the stripped area that's going to be a car wash. Don't look at that, and just keep walking until you see the group.
Okay,
And
fine. So you can all mark that on the calendar, and we will get the details out as far as if you have to register or whatever. But
yeah,
it should be a
and
good
also,
day.
You know, if it's a nice day, I might add that, especially if people come, you know, in couples or families, if you like to sit on the ground for a picnic, there's no picnic tables out there that I know of yet, but we'll be finishing up at midday, and if you want to bring a picnic lunch, you could probably find a nice place to sit down, especially if the weather's good, and do that.
Okay.
And if you haven't been out there before, it's a really nice piece of woods, and it's ours, you know, the public's. So belongs to the city, or not to belongs to the state. The city is managing it. And the new name is Fish Island Preserve. And it has wonderful natural plants and animals out there, as well as the archaeological components. That's what I'll be talking about.
Okay, fine. Let's switch topics. I know we had talked about the FAS, which is the statewide organization running their annual conference. And we have agreed to host the 2023 conference in St. Augustine. This is a statewide event, probably in excess of 200 people attend it. We will be doing all the local things. We'll be arranging a welcome reception. It's going to be held at the Flagler College, and the dates are the 12th and the 13th of May, 2023. We will also host the banquet, which would be held on a Saturday, the reception gathering, which would be the Friday before that. We'll be setting up local tours. So the bottom line is we've taken on the responsibility. If anyone wants to get involved and help us out, greatly appreciated. I know a few people have stepped forward already. Chris Newman is going to chair that event for SAAA. And let me just give you her email address. It's a guppy, like the fish, GUPPY @AUG.com. If you're interested and you'd like to help out, we're going to start gearing up, having some meetings as to how we're going to handle this. Just send a little note to Chris, and we'll get back to you. And when we have the meetings, we'll see what happens. And we do have like a year and a little bit to plan, but there's going to be a lot of planning that we're going to have to do. So anyone who can help out would be greatly appreciated. I see Linda's on as well. Linda, can you break the suspense and tell us what the next historic marker might be?
Yes. Our next historic marker project will be the House of Elixio de la Puente. And if that name is not familiar with everyone, you may be more familiar with his famous map. He is an excellent example of a Floridano Carrillo. His father was born in Cuba. His mother had been a longtime St. Augustine resident. He himself was born here in St. Augustine. He worked for the Spanish Treasury here in St. Augustine. He was a very important person. He had a pretty large house, two-story house that is located where the O.C. White's parking lot is now. And that site is also important because it was the first major dig that SAAA volunteers participated in way back in 1986, 87. So that's going to be our next project. We are working on the research right now.
Okay, we'll be looking forward to seeing that. Sounds good. You know, one other thing, Linda also does the newsletter. I know a few people have mentioned they didn't get the recent copy of the newsletter. It's sent out through email. You may want to look in your spam folder because it may end up there because of the volume that's sent out. But if it's not there, that same address that I gave you before, that guppy.aug.com, Chris also handles the mail outs. So if you didn't get a copy of it, just send a note to Chris and we'll make sure it gets to you and find out why you didn't get a copy. Anyone else have any announcements? If not, we're going to go into the famous, can you name the artifact? I'll just leave that on for a minute. And at the end of the talk, we'll see who knows what it is. Here comes Greg to look at it. Okay. We're fortunate tonight to have Steve Koski as our speaker. Steve is the county archaeologist down in the Sarasota County. And he's also responsible for the city's historic preservation ordinance. He has a BA in archaeology from University of Massachusetts in Boston and currently finishing up his MA at Arizona State University. He specializes in underwater archaeology of submerged coastal sites, particularly in Florida. And his research includes Florida inhabitants, their settlements, and their subsistence, what they've eaten. Since 1986, he's been working exclusively in southern Florida on these sites. And he was also awarded in 2015 the Bullen Award from FAS, the same award that Sarah got a couple months back, for establishing a good working relationship between professional archaeologists and non-professional archaeologists. So with that, let me turn it over to Steve, and I'm going to knock off the recording because some of the information that Steve will be talking about, we're not sure of the copyrights and we don't want to publicize it on YouTube. So I am going to